A few days from today, our country will be celebrating its 63rd independence anniversary. It has been 63 years of continuous efforts at making the country better and for us as a nation to achieve our full potential. We have seen the good, we have seen the bad, we have seen the ugly, and we hope for the best in the future. Nigeria is no doubt going through some challenges. No matter or say, this prevailing atmosphere of faltering steps, great anxiety and recriminations is not peculiar to Nigeria. It is a global phenomenon. The good news is that we have all it takes to surmount our challenges and press forward for a better Nigeria. To make this happen, all hands must be on deck to change our trajectory and make it possible for Nigeria to have its right place in the Committee of Nations. The necessary step for the much desired progress is to examine how the past was charted. This is where the book we are in, The Making of Modern Nigeria from Pre-Colonial Era till date, becomes auspicious. We know about Nigeria. We have invaluable insights to understanding the present-day challenges and the way out of the quagmire. Doing so sanctly reminds us of the exhortation of the great Chinese philosopher Confucius, in quote, "Study the past if you must define the present," unquote. Knowing Nigeria's rich past and its present will serve as a springboard for us to work for the realization of a Nigeria of our collective aspiration and dreams in the no distant future. I believe that Nigeria of our dream is possible when we contribute our quota with every sense of patriotism and nationalism. It is commendable that this book is dedicated, in quote, Nigeria's founding fathers and those who believe that some good will still come out of the country, unquote. Our generation, I'm glad to say, has played its part for the making of a modern Nigeria. The future belongs to the rising generation. It is, therefore, for today's and future generations to play their roles for making the Sonic Nigeria. Every effort to chronicle Nigeria's past is in itself a tour de force of what was, what is, and what can be. Nigeria was a notable beacon of hope for the black race in the pre-independence era. Its achievement of independence in October 1st, 1960 was both inspirational and reassuring for a host of African countries and indeed a larger global community. Post-independence Nigeria has continued to struggle for enduring success in an increasingly complex and competitive world. It behoves on each and every one of us as Nigerians and friends of Nigeria to join hands in making Nigeria a better and greater nation. This we can do by ensuring peace reigns in our country, being each other's keeper. We should also support our security agencies in whatever way we can. The Sun Publishing Company, by this book that we are here to unveil, has played its own part creditably. It is left for us here and those not here to not only acquire the book, but also read it.
That was General Abdulsalam Abubakar. He was a former head of state of Nigeria, and it was in a book launch. He was made a chairman of the book launch. He has gone to unveil a book, and in the process, he talked about Nigeria. It's all about Nigeria. He said he admitted Nigeria is going through a challenge. He admitted that. He said, we have all it takes to fix it. But I'm coming. He said, all hands must be on deck to do that. He said, he talked about how the past was structured and will help you look ahead and work towards your future. And he wants a better Nigeria and a Nigeria of our dream. He wants it. Just like you and I, he wants it. According to him, Nigeria is a beacon of hope for the black race. He said the post-independent Nigeria began to struggle. And he specified how things can be better. So, like I told you, he was there to unveil a book. I was expecting him to mention a particular book too, which he is part of. A book he took part in structuring that has become one of our troubles. I'm talking about the 1999 Constitution. You know, I was wondering what was running on the mind of this former military president of Nigeria, Abdulsalam Abubakar. He is the one that handed over to democratically elected government in 1999 with a constitution that is very faulty, a very faulty constitution. And on such constitution, I wonder what he is expecting Nigeria to become. Yes, he said Nigeria is struggling. That is very obvious. But who caused it? Part of Nigeria's problem. I'm not saying it's only the constitution, but part of Nigeria's major problem is the constitution crafted by this same man and some people. I don't know whether it's the constitution of northern Nigeria or the constitution of the elites of the Nigeria or the constitution of the entire country. How many representatives of the areas that make up Nigeria were consulted during the crafting of that constitution? How many of them? How many of them made inputs in that constitution? And no wonder this northern Nigerian book called Constitution has received massive criticism. I am expecting to admit in one of his appearances that that book is flawed. But he is yet to do that. He's unveiling another book. And why we have to do this is he talked about the problems of Nigeria and how to fix Nigeria. And he is not talking about the book that has kept Nigeria in this shape, that is part of Nigeria's problem. I think these guys should shamefully go and sit down if they have nothing useful to say. We want productive actions. We want to tackle the problem from the root. We are tired of monotonous speeches and unnecessary grammars. Enough of this nonsense. This is the main man behind Nigerian Constitution because he was the president. He handed over to the civilian government that has been existing from that 1999 date. He did well. But the constitution is so faulty, I am expecting him to come out one day and say, let Nigeria restructure. Let this constitution be rewritten. Let the corrections be made. I've not had him say about that. He's authoring another book. Anyway, a book by a publishing company. I'm not against that, but because he mentioned how to fix Nigeria. He should be talking about the constitution, or does he still approve of that constitution with what we are seeing? Of course, he talked about peace and stability. That is a collective effort of everyone. But don't be surprised that what causes trouble in the country, part of why this country is having disunity, is because of that constitution, because of what was in that constitution that is not favorable to a lot of Nigerians. Again, how many people made input in that constitution? How many representatives of every part of Nigeria made inputs to that? If you want to start to fix Nigeria, Abubakar, start by admitting that you gave us a flawed constitution that needs to be fixed. Then we go back to the drawing book or drawing board. There's need for a total overhaul if possible. Then you start to fix Nigeria. It is not telling us to read one book, a new book that was published by one company. There is a book that details how Nigeria is run. That is the book we expect you to point us to, and not any other. Yes, other books are additional, but then there is a central book, a branch. Anyway, viewers, I don't know if you agree with me on what I'm saying. Add your comments. Please share this video widely. This man needs to see this video. These guys have put us in a very bad mess. They need to see this video. They should be ashamed of themselves. Bye bye.